Hey, everybody. Welcome back. It is the SCB Steelers Podcast presented by Deck Roofing Incorporated of South Florida. We are very proud to be part of the Variety Sports Network. And, of course, the show comes to you from the Frank Walker Law Studio. Welcome in, everybody. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are 4-1 on the season. Just go ahead and crown their asses. They're winning this division. The season is over. The Ravens suck. The Browns suck. The Bengals suck. Just give us the division crown, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, if you ask Sunshine Steelers Nation.
Good evening, everybody in the chat. Good evening, everybody watching on X, or as we old people call it, Twitter. Anyway, welcome in, everyone. Hey, you know what? The Steelers, I think I had them winning 8 games this year. They're halfway to that. I'll be more than happy to eat my crow, as it were. But it's a long season. There's a
Didn't you two assholes pick a 7 and 10?
No.
No. We had
all three of us said 8 and 9.
Ben had 10 and 7.
Oh, my bad.
Scarps and I had 8 and 9.
Okay.
And Ian, because he wanted to make sure that Mike Tomlin kept his string of
8-8-1.
8-8-1. There you go.
Well, we know Ian will be wrong.
No, I'm not saying that. The way this season has gone so far, who might be the team that we tie against? Could it be the Lions again? I mean, we do play
Indianapolis.
Indy. Yeah, it'll be some just free.
Indy's a good team, man.
Man, I'm telling you, I'm really impressed with them.
Defensively, especially. I'm like, holy shit. Didn't this guy, their coordinator got fired last year by Cincinnati? Which just goes to show sometimes it's not the coach. Sometimes it's actually the fucking roster sucks. Like
it is
in
players.
Pittsburgh. Like,
so
I'm just saying.
So we all lost our who would be the first coach fired this year.
We did.
But Ben said Shane Steichen was going to be the first coach fired.
No, I did. That was me.
Oh, my bad, Ian. Sorry.
Yeah.
And
I'll take accountability for that one.
Well, I actually hoped it was Ben, but now you know what? I forgive you, Ian. It's okay.
Wow.
Allow me to check the records.
I was hoping it was Ben because I wanted to give him a little bit of shit, but
no,
yeah,
it was me because I did not believe in Daniel Jones. And I thought that the benching of a former top 5 pick in favor of a guy that you signed to basically be the backup was going to backfire, but it did not. So I was wrong.
Well,
in fact, the former top 5 pick is now their number 3 quarterback.
Yeah.
Scarps, you and I had McDaniel, and I think that could happen as soon as this week.
I can't believe he's still even around.
Wow. Steichen was Ian's pick, and Ben had
Zach Taylor.
No, he had Shoddy. The Dallas Cowboys, Brian Shoddy.
I got Schottenheimer.
Horrible.
Well,
whatever.
No. And offensively, they're playing okay, especially given the fact that CeeDee Lamb is hurt. So, not going to win that one.
Defender or something.
Yeah. Well, their defense is number 32.
It's really awful. All right, let's get it going here, guys. First of all, what are we drinking tonight? Scarps, what do you have? I'm being told to
apparently Scarpino is muted.
Scarpino is
okay. So I'm drinking the Ecliptic Hazer IPA.
Oh, I know you've had that one before. I got to get
it. Is quite tasty, man.
You know,
and Melvin is drinking the Four Roses Select, which is delicious.
Yes, it is terrific. That is a really good whiskey. Ian, what do you got going tonight?
I've got a little bit of Redemption Rye still.
Same.
Left of the bottle. Well, and then my keg of Oktoberfest has surprisingly not kicked yet. So
it'll probably happen tonight during the show.
It probably will, because there's like no foam left, and usually when it gets to be like no foam left is when the keg's ready to kick. So it will kick soon, but it has not kicked yet.
And again, you will be replacing it with whatever is cheapest at the store.
No.
Oh, no?
No. I do not. I usually don't go for whatever's cheapest. I usually check.
the sale items. Yeah. Okay, that's fair. So you're not going to have
I believe it's a Great Lakes Oktoberfest. Was what
it won't be natural light, is what you're saying. Yeah. Okay.
No Beast, no Natty Light.
Beast,
no.
nice.
The Beast. God. That brings back flashbacks.
Yes,
Not
it
good
does,
ones
my man.
Not good ones.
Yes, it does.
Brings back the spins.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
All right.
The bar I used to go to in college, you could get a pitcher of MGD for $4.50.
Oh my!
That's not bad.
It was $4 when I started going there, and then he had to raise the prices because he was like, "Guys, I'm sorry, I'm losing money on this. I've got to raise it to $4.50." And we're like, "It's fine. We're gonna give you a $5 and tell you to keep the change anyways, like we always do." Like there's
MGD's
no
not
change
bad. It ain't.
No, it's not
great, but it ain't bad.
It ain't bad.
Do they still make it?
I don't know. Miller High Life was our college beer of choice because you could get a 24-pack of bottles for $12.50.
Well, it's the champagne of beers. All right, Scarps, who gets your game ball from last week's 23-9 Steelers victory over the Cleveland Browns?
Well, now that my audio is working, I got the reboot again, and this is Foundry. This is from Four Seasons Brewing Company in Latrobe. And it's called Reboot. It's a West Coast style India pale ale.
Lovely.
With Citra and Cascade hops.
Ooh.
It's fucking delicious. Anyway, I don't know. This is like my new thing.
Sounds good.
Game ball. I'm gonna give it to the old mustachio himself, Artie Smith. I thought, and I've been critical of Artie Smith, and he still frustrates the hell out of me. But I thought that first call to Darnell Washington was a fucking winner, and I want to give credit. I want to give credit to Aaron Rodgers, but also I do think Artie Smith is starting to get more comfortable. I don't think they necessarily ran the ball well, but they did in key moments. Particularly, I think I thought the fourth quarter they were a little bit better.
They had a handful of runs of 10 yards or better.
Yeah, but I would say that it wasn't consistent because they did get shut down. But anyway,
it was a very good defense.
So yeah, I mean it was a good defense. I also think they might have quit when they were on their way back from London.
Fourth quarter, I think they quit. I didn't think they quit. I think they were playing hard in the first half, but I agree with you. I thought middle of the second, middle of the third, definitely in the fourth quarter, it was like those guys were just out there going through the motions, man.
But to Arthur Smith's credit, and then asshole Ryan Scarpino, who said that if they're going to be more successful or get better, they're going to have to start taking shots downfield. Aaron Rodgers was last in the league in air yards and in intended air yards and completed air yards. And wouldn't you know it, this past game, he had a season high in both of them. And after the game, they asked him about it. He said, "Oh, you do well. Yeah, gotta take shots. Gotta take shots down the field, and you do that by running the ball well." So, but I'm an asshole. Anyway, Artie Smith is doing pretty solid.
Love it. Ian, your game ball.
I'm gonna give my game ball to Darnell Washington. Played 47 snaps on offense, was a big part of chip blocking and helping to shut down not only Miles Garrett but the rest of the Browns defense, which, as we talked about, is pretty darn good. I mean, they've got some good players there. In addition to just Miles Garrett, they've got some good pass rushers. So Darnell did a good job there. Also had a career high in receiving yards. I think by career high, that was even more than he ever had at Georgia too. 3 catches for 62 yards, including the big one to start the game. So overall, just a big key piece of what made the offense work, even when it wasn't catching the ball, it was contributing with blocking to help everything else go.
Yeah, no, I love it. Excellent selections by both of you. And Ben, who's your game baller?
Patrick Queen.
Whoa,
Mr. Queen is finally hitting his stride in Pittsburgh.
I don't disagree.
Mm-hmm. I was quite pleased with the way he played. I mean, there were a number of guys on the defense this week that I thought played really well. I thought there was a point when the DBs were letting receivers run past the flat and just letting him go because they were like, he's not throwing it down there anyway. I don't care. They were just letting him run. They were like, fuck it. I'm going to stay up here because he's going to throw the ball short, and I want to be up here where he throws the ball. But so there were a lot of guys that played very well. I thought the defensive line played well. Herbig had a big game. You know, he kept getting one-on-ones. He kept beating the guy. It was great. Watt had a nice game. You know, I thought that Derek Harmon played a nice game. Cam played a nice game. But Mr. Queen was all over the fucking place. And I think he really is hitting his stride. And I thought the best play he made, honestly, was when remember the play where they blew the whistle early on was it 83 Lavardian?
I don't even know who that guy was.
No, I just kept calling him Leviathan.
Okay, so he had two DBs with his knees wrapped up, and the refs blew the whistle a little early, and Queen had him lined up. He had him in his sights, and he was gonna take his fucking head off. And when he heard the whistle, he stopped.
Yeah,
and I was like, okay. Cool. I thought the whistle was early. You didn't take his head off, though. You didn't get the 15-yard penalty or the serious knee injury that would have, because the DBs had his legs wrapped up. I think that's cool. That was a good play, dude. Heads up play, especially the way you've been playing today with your fucking hair on fire all day. That was a big deal to me. The play that he didn't make was a big deal.
Yeah, I think that's a great observation. And going back to that play in particular, I agree. I thought the whistle was a little early.
Oh, it was.
But at the same time, my first thought was if it wasn't early, that dude's leg might have been in half because he was in such a position that if Queen went low on him, oh, my God, it could have been one of those really
Queen was coming at his chest.
Yeah, well, thankfully he was.
He wouldn't have it. He would have jacked him up.
Oh my God. It was one of those things. I'm kind of like, and I don't usually do that.
I think the officials saw it and blew the whistle and was like, nope, that's it. Over.
Yeah. And you might be right. I know
the refs are getting criticized for that, for blowing the whistle early in that play. But if they don't, like you just said, then they're getting criticized because they let a guy get blown up.
Exactly. And believe me, I'm old school. I want to see the big hits and everything. But that was just one of those where I was thinking to myself, that might be a good early whistle there.
Yeah.
I'm going to spread my game ball out a little bit. Okay. And I'm just going to call it the defensive line, those middle 2-3 guys. Okay. And they rotate a little bit in there. You know, yes, that includes Cam, but it also includes Derek Harmon and certainly Keanu Benton and
Daniel Black.
Yes. All those guys, because and we saw some of this.
Plays. And Daniel Echo. I'm gonna fuck.
I can never say it either. I was waiting for one of you guys to say it.
That dude, he's not a penetrating defensive lineman, but he can two gap, man, and that we needed that.
Yeah, we did, and that's one of the reasons I'm going with those guys, because I really felt that's one of the first times in a while that I've really seen our defensive line be able to occupy space and allow our linebackers to really fly around and come up. And, you know, again, Cleveland's offensive line was fairly decimated. They lost Conklin during the game, but look, it's the NFL. You don't make apologies for that shit. So that's who I would give it to. So those are our game balls. And you know what? I did not have this guy on our agenda, and I should have, and I want to thank Michael for bringing this up in the chat. And I think Renegade might have too.
He's
as well.
Exciting.
Because Sean Williams, man, I'm telling you what, they just put him on the active roster, and we had wondered all week who's returning punts, who's returning kicks, and boom, here comes Williams, who almost rips one off. Now, granted, it got called back, but man, I'm telling you what, he might not make money in Pittsburgh, but he's probably going to make some money for himself somewhere with that performance. He looked quick. He had burst. Man, what a great find for him. And he's probably there again this week. Would you say?
Oh yeah.
With Austin out, he's definitely getting a hat.
Yeah,
he's still on the active roster. So
right. Yep. Yeah. So I think Melvin, I agree. It was a ticky-tack call. To the letter of the rule, it's the right call. But I'm with you, man.
As Scarps put it on Sunday, correct call, but rarely enforced.
Yes.
And I agreed with that sentiment. That was perfect. It was like, you rarely ever see that. I mean, is it by the letter of the law, the correct call? Yeah, but
I would just say there's no consistency in officiating. And I mean, I want to make a quick point, and if it leads to more discussion, I apologize. Actually, I don't. But as we all know, that officiating is consistent on that first drive of the Lions-Chiefs game last Sunday. David Montgomery threw a touchdown to Jared Goff, and they called it a touchdown, and then all of a sudden the league got involved, and they took it
New
away.
York called it. Said no, that
New
was
York
formation.
But but we are told that the league doesn't get involved in those type of things. So what does that mean?
They told Dan Campbell they did.
And Dan Campbell reported it, and yet nobody is talking about it. So somebody's lying somewhere.
Yes.
And maybe, could it be Dan Campbell lying? Maybe. But at the same time, you watch the shit week in and week out, and the Chiefs were losing despite getting every call, and now they're winning again and getting calls. And I don't like that, because I fucking called the Chiefs' demise this year, and they're gonna rub their Chiefs in my face, and I don't like that. But officiating is so inconsistent; it's very frustrating. And if it's a penalty, call it. If it's not, don't call it.
And as far as the taunting stuff, Scarps, Patrick Mahomes taunted on a touchdown worse than other guys who have gotten called. So look, I understand that every league has its stars, whether you want to call it Jordan rules, all that kind of shit. But somebody's got to have the balls and throw a flag on this guy once in a while, because he knows he's getting away with it, and he just keeps.
It's funny because I don't agree with what Brian Branch did, but I wish you would have did it at Mahomes.
It would have been better.
It would have been far more interesting.
Juju did block him in the back, and there was no call. But for him to stand there in the locker room afterward and go, I feel like they were bullying me, and I didn't like that. What I did was wrong, but still, I just felt like I was like, dude, you seem like a little bitch now. I can't believe you fucking said that. Don't you have friends?
At that point, I would have rather him just double down and be like, "Yeah, Juju's a bitch," and I fucking smacked him around. And listen, I never fucking played at this level, or not even gotten close to it, but like, there are emotions, and I understand that you have to keep those in check. But you know what? Brian Branch is being reprimanded. He's got a game suspension. He's getting a fine. I totally get that.
Yep.
But you know what? Like, if you're gonna smack somebody, fucking smack Mahomes in the face, man.
I don't disagree with you. I think what happened there was they went to the locker room, and Dan Campbell fucking ripped him a new one.
Oh yeah,
that was why he was emotional.
Yeah,
you could tell. Yeah, you could tell Campbell. You could tell Campbell with that big ass Rudolph the red nose laid into him.
Yep.
We're biting kneecaps. We're not fucking bitch slapping.
You got to add a little more of
drinks. Let's go.
Ian, where is this Pittsburgh Steelers team like really truly improving right now? Well, give me one specific area that just for you it stands out.
The run defense. They were so bad at defending the run the first 2 to 3 weeks of the season. And Ben talked about it very well with how they're two-gapping on the defensive line. I don't know. I mean, Derek Harmon's playing very well. I don't know if it's getting Harmon in there that's made the difference, or getting Isaiah Loudermilk out that has made the difference, because that dude sucked.
Yeah.
So Daniel Akale has played a little better, has played well. In his snaps, Y.A. Black's done well. Cam Hayward is what he is. Harmon, for a rookie, has played really well in there too. And fuck PFF and their grades or lack of grades of him, because I don't think those nerds understand what two gapping means. Like, that you're not actually trying to penetrate and get pressure, that you're basically holding off your guy with one arm so that you can go either way and defend a hole. And you're basically, like, when you're two gapping, we have smart people in the chat. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but when you're two gapping, right, you're kind of holding the lineman off. You're able to go either way, but really what you're doing is just freeing up space for the inside linebackers to make plays. And that's what Aaron Smith did so well, what Brett Kiesel did so well, what Kimo von Oelhoffen and Casey Hampton did so well in the Dick LeBeau scheme, was being able to two gap. Now, that doesn't work as well against the zone blocking scheme, especially outside zone, whenever you can't get to that second gap because all those guys are just moving in front of you. But for a power running team like what the Browns were trying to do, it worked very well. And like we said, Patrick Queen's playing a lot better. And he's actually like using his arms to tackle now instead of just like hitting guys with his shoulder and hoping they go down. But overall, it's been a big improvement on the defensive line and just the run defense as a whole. Having Deshaun Elliott back this week, I think he led I think he had 12 tackles.
Yes, he did.
So
12.
Yeah, I mean, I'm worried if he can't play on Thursday, but the run defense has been a lot better.
And just very quickly to update on that, he did not make the flight over to Cincy, and according to Steelers PR, they said that was a personal, not football-related thing, and that's as much as we know. So I'm not going to sit here and try to speculate.
Obviously, we hope that he makes the trip and that he plays with the team, but hopefully everything is okay with him.
Absolutely, that's number one. You just hope things are okay, him and his family and everything else. But we'll leave it at that because we just don't know. Ben, where's the area of improvement for you that you're really noticing?
Run defense, run offense, running the ball better, stopping the run. I mean, it's football 101. If you run the ball well, you can throw it. If you throw the ball well, you can run it too. If you can't do either one well, you're fucked. But they haven't been they weren't able to run the ball early in the season, and they were a sieve stopping the run. The first 2 weeks in particular, they were horrible, and they've gotten much better since. In particular, running the ball this week, because I didn't expect them to do much. I thought it was going to be 3 yards in a cloud of dust the entire game. They had, I think I saw they had 3 carries of 10 plus yards, which against, no, I'm sorry, it was 5 against, and the stat was significant because the Browns had only given up 6 carries of 10 plus yards, 10 or more yards all season, and the Steelers had 5 on Sunday. So it was a big deal. They didn't run the ball great, but again, that was a really good run defense they played against.
Well, one of the things that
the blocking scheme, I don't know if you guys noticed this, has really improved. I mean, we give Pat Meyer a whole lot of shit, but they were running traps, they were executing well. They weren't running as much zone as I thought they were going to run, but they were running traps to try and get angles to push people out of the way, and it was fucking working. And they were picking off linebackers at the second level and giving guys space. And I was like, God damn, where the hell were these guys early in the season? What the hell's God?
I gave Meyer some props on Monday in the article on the website Monday morning because, as Ben said, we've been extremely hard on him for a while now.
So
Yeah.
Deservedly fucking so.
But I think you mentioned some of the blocking schemes. I also noticed, and I'm sure you guys obviously did too, that Rodgers was doing this, and I think J.J. Watt mentioned it on the telecast. We were doing this little old school turn and pitch and kind of just allow that running back to kind of find where he wants to go, and boom, there he goes. Yeah. And I give Arthur Smith credit for that. Because obviously he's mad scientist, and you have to coordinate that with your offensive line coach. And so I think they did a great job in that part of it.
And Darnell Washington, fuck. I mean, that guy he's contributing in the run game, in the pass game. I mean, goddamn. Where was this guy last year? They've said he's improved and he can do more this year, yada yada. I'm like, why didn't we try and do this last season? I mean,
well, what the one
he's bashing the shit out of the guy's blocking, but
what was it? It was like a 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, and he literally ran about a 5 or 6 yard turnaround, and I'm just thinking to myself, why don't we do this all the time? You can't stop that man. You just can't. I mean, he's impossible to get.
It was like there were 3 DBs in that area, and he just caught the ball and ran with it, and the little kids eventually wrapped their arms around his legs, and he fell down. Yeah. It was like dad playing with his kids out in the yard.
It does. It looks like that every time he's got the ball. Scarps, I want to give you a chance to talk about an area of improvement, and then I want to shift over because Melvin has brought this up, and I think 1 or 2 other people have brought this up as well, the bottom falling out kind of thing. But I want to hear your area of improvement first, what you're really seeing.
I think the ascension of Darnell Washington, and I gave him my game ball in the Minnesota game. I think that's important, but I would also say too that as much as Arthur Smith infuriates the shit out of me because of fantasy football purposes, I appreciate that they're doing what they need to do to secure victory. And I know that sounds like a Tomlinism, but essentially that's what they're doing. They're beating the teams that they need to beat by whatever means necessary. And this is another Tomlinism. I don't think there's anything mystifying about that, right? I mean, like they beat a Minnesota Vikings team who had a pretty decent defense, but Carson Wentz was not good, and they capitalized on that. They had a beat up offensive line. They similar with the Browns. They had Dylan Gabriel who it got to be this tall to throw over the line of scrimmage, and he definitely can't. He definitely can't ride the racer at Kennywood. But
don't stand up.
He's gonna have to wear the elevator shoes.
And I just I think that for the class. So I would say this. And I haven't updated this in a long time, but for the whole Mike Tomlin plays down to the opponent's crowd, a couple years ago, Mike Tomlin was actually the best in the league of active coaches of winning percentage when he played a team that was under 500 on game day. And they, not necessarily the Vikings. I think the Vikings were 2-1 on game day or 2-2. Regardless, the classic Tomlin letdown games.
Yeah,
he's 2-0. It's going overseas, playing the Vikings.
Yep,
which is tough because that's a Vikings home game. All my history buffs out there. Here's the guy that likes history, and then coming home and playing the Browns like that. I mean, letdown's hard. Now tomorrow night is a different story. We'll talk about that later. I'm not saying the Bengals are going to win, but I'm saying that they have done a good job improving because they've beaten the teams they need to beat and doing it in whatever way possible and whoever is available.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No argument. So let me go to the comments here for a minute, because I think Melvin started it and then a couple others mentioned it. Just like, there's a good vibe right now around the Steelers. You see it in some of the videos that they take in the locker room during the week when they're doing their little funny social media things. And hey, we're 4-1. The Ravens are
comments.
Great comment from Deshaun Elliott. Absolutely. So I guess, Ben, should we be somewhat cautious about getting too excited about this?
Yes. This is not a great roster. I'm sorry. It's not. This is not a contender. Okay? They are fun. They are fun to watch.
Yeah.
I love these guys. I love the team. I love the fact that they're playing as hard as they're playing. I think there is a core of players that will be here long-term on this team right now. It's great. It's fun watching them evolve. It's wonderful. Can they contend this year? No, they cannot. They are not that good. They don't have the horses. Sorry. They got Aaron, and, they got him about 5 years too late. He's still pretty good. He's good enough. Well, he's better than what we had last year. Okay, I'll leave it at that. But he's not Aaron Rodgers anymore. Okay.
So for you though, Ben, so you're not saying that the bottom is going to fall out. You're just simply saying it'll be what it is, which is probably around your prediction of 10-7.
10-7. I mean, maybe they'll
Peter Frampton has entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
Yeah, sorry.
Maybe
dude,
they will.
Yeah.
They will. Really?
Wow! Yeah, you're all over the place.
Me.
Yeah. Let me go to Ian. Ian, what do you think here as far as the bottom dropping out?
Sorry,
I think the schedule gets a lot harder in the second half, but we've known that since April, and I think when we did our season preview show, I said I just wanted this team to be fun and enjoyable to watch, that I was tired of seeing a boring ass team win 13-9 games, not to trigger any West Virginia fans in the chat, but but basically, like, that's kind of what we've been the last couple of years. It's like, let's just win a rock fight and hope that we're hanging around in the fourth quarter. But they're actually, this past game against the Browns, it was 9-3 at halftime, and I was really worried that the Browns would score a touchdown in the second half and come back and make it interesting. But we locked them down. We kept them out of the end zone and did a really good job of just kind of maintaining and cruising to victory. And this team right now is fun. They're enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
They're getting better on defense, which was their, real weak point early in the year.
Amazingly.
They're getting better on offense. And will the bottom fall? If Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, then the bottom might fall out. But the schedule's going to get harder. They're going to lose some games. But this was kind of, Rodgers was only going to be here for a year anyways. This isn't necessarily a building block year towards the future. This is a 1 year. Let's see if Rodgers has any magic left in the tank. So let's just enjoy the ride, and maybe we can get our quarterback of the future next year. But I'm not going to get too worked up about it. When the schedule gets harder, if we lose a couple games, right? Losing to Seattle upset me, because I thought that was a winnable game. But in retrospect, it doesn't look as bad as it did in week 2.
Okay.
So I think they're going to come back down to earth a little bit, but I'm not going to be super upset about it.
Scarps, what do you think?
I think it's absolutely fair to think about the last almost decade of how things have unfolded. I think that's absolutely fair. I think the context is important. Two of their wins are against teams that are 4-2 and 3-2, and 2 of their wins are against teams that are 0-6 and 1-5. I'm not ready to crown them despite a division lead, because you could easily win a division and not win a playoff game. They've done that several times under Mike Tomlin. All I asked for this year was for the team to be entertaining, and they have been entertaining, but at the same time, they are plus 12 in points, but are 4-1.
Yep.
So, and 3 of the 5 games have been one score or one possession, and we all know Mike Tomlin excels in those spots.
He does.
So, I have no idea. None of us have any idea of how this season is going to unfold.
Right.
But I do understand, including myself, why fans say that this looks the same. The names on the jerseys aren't the same, but it sure looks and feels like the same. And I mean this because they beat the Browns 90% of the time. I mean, like they beat the fucking Bengals 75 to 80% of the time. So like, I'm not gonna get too excited about a Browns win. Again, they did what they needed to do to win these last 3 games, and I really don't think there's anything crazy about what they're doing right now. My biggest thing, and I've said this since the get-go, is what happens when they face some adversity? What happens when they lose a game or 2 in a row? Because they will.
That's coming. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Because they're having fun right now. I mean, it's you see older guys like Watt with younger guys like Herbig celebrating big plays. They really are fun to watch, and I think that's all you can really ask for right now. When most of us, I think, are just hopeful for a playoff victory. I think we would all, look, Super Bowl is always the goal, but considering the last 8 to 10 years, I think a lot of us would feel good about a playoff victory. And, it's funny. People come up to me and they're like, well, what do you think of Rodgers? And, I always say the same thing. I said, look, man, the guy's talent was never in question. The guy's ability to process at the line, his arm strength, that's never been a question. He seems to be saying all the right things, doing all the right things. It's great. And he's a Pittsburgh Steelers. He's the quarterback of our team, and I'm rooting my ass off for him. But yeah, when that adversity comes, what's going to happen? Speaking of adversity, what the hell are they going to do with that grass at Heinz Field?
They're resodding now.
They are.
They are resodding now. But yes. I mean, long term, is that the solution? Probably not. And like we were talking about this week, there are other cities, cold weather cities, that heat the field so that it can continue to grow and root while it's being watered during the winter. Yeah. And I don't know if the Steelers are doing that. And if they're not, they need to invest in it.
I totally agree. If you're going to stick to we want natural grass, then invest some damn money to have good grass. And I know where the conversation always turns while Pitt plays on it too. Yes, they do. But Ian, finish my thought for me because I know what you're going to say.
Yeah. We talked about this on Slack a little bit too, and I think I posted it on Twitter, that everyone's out here blaming Pitt for the bad field conditions when Pitt played at Florida State.
Total horseshit. Yeah.
On Saturday, right? So it's not like Pitt played there the day before. And
wait, I thought it was Whippeal's fault.
No, they're not
yet.
They're not there until November.
Right. As soon as November rolls around, then it's Whippeal's fault.
I was being an asshole. Sorry.
Yeah.
But this was only the 6th game played at Acrisure Stadium since mid-August when the Steelers had their first preseason game. Mm-hmm. So I find it really hard to believe that the field conditions were that bad, considering the last game there was 8 days before when Pitt played Boston College.
Yep.
And there was the Steelers played the Bucs in mid-August. Pitt had 2 home games around Labor Day weekend. the Steelers played the Seahawks. Pitt played Boston College on October 4th, and then we played the Browns on October 12th. So basically from August 16th to October 12th, there were 6 games there, and somehow it got that bad that quickly. So I think really what it looked like to me was the field looked really sandy and dry, and we've not had a lot of rain in Pittsburgh over the last
looked like it was
months.
Dead fucking grass, right?
Yeah.
Looked like it was dead grass.
But like you're allowed to water you're allowed to water the field, right? Like I can get a hose and go water my lawn, right? Like you're allowed to put sprinklers out there and water the field.
Yeah.
It looked just really dry and sandy to me. And when I saw Boswell out there like trying to stomp down the field before that field goal, I was like, oh shit, this is bad news, because like anytime you're trying to stomp it down, like this especially on a 50-yarder, like this is not a good situation. So whoever said in the chat that poor rain this year is the anomaly, I think that was Jamie. Good call, Jamie. Right. It hasn't been cold yet. I really think this is much more of a groundskeeping issue than a use issue, because there haven't been that many games on it. And it wasn't like there was a game there the day before. So to me, it's much more of a maintenance issue than anything else.
And just as far as stadium talk goes, it is 100% official now. The Browns will be getting their brand new stadium in Brook Park there down by the airport outside of Cleveland. They worked out a deal with the city, and that whole thing up by the mistake by the lake is not going to be there anymore after 2028. And I don't know if they're doing retractable roof. From what I understand,
I prefer
they're not.
Factory of Sadness.
You're right, Ben. I also prefer that as well. I should use
the
that.
Factory of Sadness it was wonderful.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss that place.
Well,
go ahead, Scarps.
Yeah, the modern stadium, except for Buffalo, because it has an opening, is that the knock on it is that they all kind of look the same. But if you think about it, like modern construction in general looks the same, right? Like it has similar color schemes, similar aesthetics, similar performance of building products. And I know it's like fucking blasphemous to even talk about it here, but like if you want better accommodations and you want a better experience and you want a better stadium, you need to think about a potential stadium that includes a retractable roof. I'm not saying you have to cover it full time,
right?
But you need to have an option to be able to do that. And I'm sorry, Ian, I missed what you said because I had to drain the old lizard, but and old, that's setting it up for Casey. But the point is like, back like literally 20 years ago or 25 years ago, making a football stadium was like, and I just got a new truck, was like driving a new truck off the lot. It depreciates as soon as you fucking leave the lot.
You betcha.
And when you think about it, the Steelers, Acrisure, formerly Heinz Field,
right,
and then M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, they're very similar in age, and they both need renovations. And M&T Bank's a little bit nicer. Sorry to admit it, but it's true. But you need to think about a long-term investment.
Part of town.
You need to think about that's true. You need to think about a longer-term investment. And, Jerry World's been open for almost, I think Jerry World's been open for what, 16, 17 years now.
Jerry World was the model for all of the others. Like Jerry World was the complex that everyone else aspired to be after the fact.
But that fucker can be around for longer than Jerry might be dead by then. But like that fucking stadium is going to be around for another 25, 30 years. And then they can make renovations to it. So like, you don't have to build a brand new complex to do it. So like, anyway, getting back to the grass, as Le'Veon Bell and LeGarrette Blount once told me in 2014.
Hold on, Scarpino.
Yeah. I'm going to stick up for my fellow guys here, because the guys that I knew when I was there, that's a thankless job.
Oh,
you got to you got to keep the playing field in immaculate condition. You got to keep the practice fields in immaculate. You got to keep St. Vincent's fields, and like, it is really, really hard, and there's weather and there's other elements that come into it. And contrary to everyone's beliefs, the University of Pittsburgh Panthers don't want to injure Chris Boswell. Okay. And I think listen,
I do, damn it.
Listen, I mean, like, I've fought with the fucking picketologists left and right on the old Twatter sphere, and it is not a fun experience.
No.
But, like, to blame Pitt for that is just absolutely fucking absurd and ridiculous.
I think the four of us are on the same page,
because it's like nobody wants, and then even Mike Florio, and I like Mike, I do like Mike, but, like, to even say that, like, it's like he hinted that the NFL owners don't care about their players. You got to be out of your fucking mind. Like, okay. Speaking of Jerry Jones says, we can get 2 first-round picks that are just as good as Micah for Micah, or something like that. But it's like Jerry didn't wish Micah Parsons got hurt. He just was like, yeah, I'm not going to pay you what you want, so go somewhere else, and I'm going to try. But, like, do you think Art Rooney wants to lose a TJ Watt or a Chris Boswell or anybody for that matter? Fuck no. Like, Art wants to win. He wants to win. He wants to get 7.
I want to go to a Super Bowl.
Well, you don't quite know if it's me or my quarterback going to the Super Bowl because we sound the same. So anyway, all right, I talked a lot, but the point is, like, even so, I would say, like, if you really truly want to get, sorry, my dog's licking his asshole right now. And completely, Aaron, I love you. Can you clip this in a second? My dog is licking his asshole, and he's just fucking so distracting. But if you really want to, like, get a natural surface, it's like really taken care of, you got to spend the money and upgrade, and it is really hard to do that on North Shore Drive. So
yeah. Ian, I know you wanted to make a little bit of a counter there.
Yeah, my only counter, and it's really nitpicking what Ryan said.
Yeah,
but he mentioned that, like, a lot of modern stadiums look the same, which in a sense is true. Yes, I would 100% agree with you that, and even your point about a lot of modern architecture, that it's all very similar. But, like, stadium design has always been very similar. Like, think about, Three River Stadium versus Riverfront Stadium versus, where the Chargers played, Veterans Field, and Giants Stadium. I mean, they were all basically the same. They were all basically the same stadium,
the same donut.
Yeah, exactly. That a lot of these teams played in, and a lot of them were, multi-purpose fields, right? Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati had both the Bengals and the Reds for a long time, where Three Rivers had the Steelers and the Pirates. And so I don't, I'm not going to get super worked up about, like, stadium architecture, but I do think you make a lot of other good points. I just wanted to, on the architecture side, say, like, basically from like the 70s through the 90s, every stadium was a carbon copy other than, like, the Astrodome, which was a unique thing in Houston. Like, everything else was basically a carbon copy.
It's funny you mentioned the Astrodome. I've been in it several times, and I don't know if you guys have seen the zoom out shots whenever they're playing in Houston, but Energy Stadium, which is next to it, I think you can pretty much take the Astrodome and stick it right inside, and you'd never know it was inside Energy Stadium. I mean, that's how big Energy Stadium is. And I say that because at the time, the Astrodome was considered like this monstrous thing. And now it's just a little old stadium, I mean, but that's just the way of the world, I suppose. Bengals are coming up this week, everyone. And look, they are quarterbacked by Mr. Joe Flacco. And I got the feeling, Ben, that Mike Tomlin wasn't real thrilled that he's got to play against Joe Flacco.
No, I got the same sense. Yeah. And I honestly don't disagree with what Mike said. I do disagree with Steeler fan sentiments that the Browns did this just to fuck over the Steelers.
Oh, God.
That's fucking bullshit. That's total horseshit.
I didn't see that. I'm glad I didn't.
The Browns have a long history of doing dumb shit, okay? A pick swap trade for their opening week starter is not at all out of bounds for the Browns. Not at all.
No.
Not even maybe. I mean, this is a dumb trade, and people keep going, well, they got a 5th-round pick for him. No, they didn't. They traded Flacco and a 6 for a 5. The 5th they got back, they gave up a pick to get. So basically, it'd be like if the Steelers traded something and they're like, hey, we can turn a 6 into a 5th. All right, that sounds great. Let's get rid of our opening day starter. Mm-hmm. Fuck no. We wouldn't even trade Kenny fucking Pickett for that shit. It's a dumb trade, but it's classic fucking Browns.
Well, and the fact of the matter is Joe Flacco can still sling it. He beat us when he was with the Colts.
He can't move though.
He cannot.
He's always been that guy who gets flustered when he gets pressured, and that offensive line sucks ass. They are fucking terrible.
It's not good.
No, it's the same line that Burrow was behind.
Yeah, and I'll say this for the Bengals. I thought they were competitive against Green Bay this past week. And they haven't. Let's put it this way. I thought Cleveland kind of let up in the fourth quarter on Sunday. I haven't seen that from Cincinnati yet. They still seem to be playing hard.
But their defense is fucking terrible.
Correct. Defense is a completely different story. Scarps?
No, I would just say that their defense is bad, but like they haven't given up 30 points. I can't believe I'm saying this, but they haven't given up 30 points to either the Lions or the Packers.
Yeah.
They've gotten turnovers, and I don't think our offense is as good as the Packers or the Lions. So, and it's a road divisional game. Again, I'm not picking
it's a Thursday game.
And it's a Thursday game, but like, I don't want to touch too much on Joe Flacco because Casey will talk about this a little bit.
Little preview there.
But getting back to the whole, like, I truly believe, and I posted this earlier this week on the old platform formerly known as Twitter, and it got a little bit of engagement. But I do believe that Mike Tomlin was absolutely pissed off that he went from facing Joe Flacco 0 times to facing him twice, especially after he publicly said, I told my guys last year to keep Anthony Richardson upright. Now, why would you say that?
I mean, he wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong, dude.
And he wasn't wrong. But if there's one quarterback that knows this defense and Mike Tomlin, it's Joe Flacco. And Joe Flacco is a 500 quarterback. Maybe. I'm sorry, I didn't look that up, but he's maybe a 500 quarterback against the Steelers.
He's 11-11.
Oh, he's
not mistaken. Yep.
Well, god damn, he's exactly 500.
Pretty sure I saw that.
But when you know someone that close, especially in this league, like it's almost like so it goes back to like the whole like Tomlin, John Harbs. Have they met the most in league history or close to? It's something like that.
Tomlin and Harbaugh?
Yes.
They're second behind
Hallis and
Lambeau.
Okay. So, but the point being is that there's a reason why that Steelers-Ravens rivalry is so close under Tomlin and Harbaugh. And you can just correlate that to a little bit of Flacco. And no, do I think Joe Flacco's going to throw for 400 yards? Absolutely not. But you know what? I don't know if Joe Flacco's ever had a receiving core as good as Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I don't give a shit what the O-line is like because those guys can separate. And you know what? A guy who's been terrible this year, especially for fantasy, but a guy who's decent is Chase Brown. So they have weapons, and you know what? Who knows what can happen on a Thursday night defensively? So I don't think that the full circle. I don't think that the Browns did this on purpose.
No,
I think that the Browns went to Joe Flacco and said, "Hey, we're not going to start you the rest of the year, regardless of what happens.
Yeah,
and we just got a trade offer for you for the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts?" And he was like, "Well, it's across the state, but it's not too far, and I got a chance to start. They're only 2-2 at the time, or 2-2,
2-3,
2-3 at the time, and clearly, to me, this means that Joe Burrow is coming back sooner than people anticipated.
Yeah, that's
I'm
kind of what I
taking
thought,
that any time. So, Steelers Sunshine Twitter, man, get out of your fucking feels.
I will say one thing since you mentioned Cleveland real quick. I Gabriel, he earned my respect on Sunday. He hung in the pocket. He made some nice throws. Granted, he didn't throw the ball downfield worth a damn. 52 times and only 10 of them traveled 10 yards downfield. But I thought the kid hung in there pretty well. And when I say kid, he's like a 12th year college player, but you know what I mean.
He got his ass kicked. He did. He fucking stood up every time. That's why I always kept expecting that they were going to do something eventually, and then they're the Browns, so they just fucking suck.
Yeah,
but whatever.
Yeah. So
they're the fucking Browns. The Browns always find a way to fucking lose, because it's Cleveland.
That's Cleveland. Yeah.
When I think to Ryan's point,
because Cleveland.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Cleveland.
Yeah. To Ryan's point too, and I know that our defensive backs were making choices against the Browns, right? That they were deciding to let guys just run behind them because they knew Gabriel wasn't going to throw it deep. But
fuck it. Go ahead.
Right.
You can't do that against Flacco, right? Because Flacco will throw the ball deep.
No.
And
yes.
We've got defensive backs that have been burned deep this year so far. We've got, Joey Porter Jr. probably has nightmares about his last game against T. Higgins, where he had 5 holding penalties or 3 holding and 2 DPI penalties.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, you guys remember that, right? He got benched that game, and they put James Pierre on T. Higgins because JPJ was having such a bad game.
Yeah,
and Jamar Chase is really good. Now, I'm glad we have Slay and Ramsey back there. Yeah, but these are also guys between Higgins and Chase that can do a lot after the catch. So it's not just throwing the ball to them down the field, but it's you got to get those guys down on the ground when they get the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm personally, I'm expecting a lot less man coverage and a lot more zone, probably a lot more cover 3, because I think they're going to want to just try and keep those guys in front of them and just tackle the catch rather than letting those guys, try and man up on them, because both of those guys, like Ryan said, both of those guys can separate very well.
Yep.
And Ramsey and Slay are not spring chickens, right?
No.
Their foot speed is not the best. So if you don't have fast corners, you play zone and you just tackle the catch and hope it works out.
I would say Ramsey is still playing pretty fucking well. Slay, his change of direction is
definitely
it's
dropped.
It's dropping.
Yeah. Gesicki, by the way, went on injured reserve, so they will not have that tight end. That means Noah Fant is likely their number one tight end.
And Noah Fant's a good receiver.
Yeah, they'll use him.
He is. He's not a good blocker, but he's a good receiver.
Totally agree. And then the slot kid, I mean, he's not Tyler Boyd, but he does some nice things. Yosivas, I think his name is.
Yes.
So I
think T. Higgins only runs like 2 good routes, but they're fucking deadly.
Yes, right. I have no idea what the robot just said, but in any case, we're gonna take up a collection tonight and get Ben some new internet.
No, we're not.
Ian, get a fucking beer, man. Let's do this.
Yeah.
All right, refill time.
Go for it. Interesting trends this week. The Steelers have been, well, shall we say, not good on Thursday night football. But in the meantime, Aaron Rodgers is like really good on Thursday nights. 42 touchdowns and only 5 interceptions in his career on Thursday night football. So
13-5, right?
Yeah, he's 13-5 overall. So something's got to give there. Because we're just not good. Tomlin's not good on Thursday night football. It's one of those things. I wish I had an explanation for it. I mean, obviously the players hate Thursday night football until Thursday night football's over, because then you get that mini bye.
Right.
And so it is.
And it just so happens to be not too long after their regular bye.
Correct.
Which
correct. But that said, primetime games down the road, we will still have, I believe, 2 Sunday nighters and a Monday nighter. So we will truly be going week to week after we get through this little mini bye here.
Trey Hendrickson is questionable for the game as well. That's worth
noting. My gut feeling based on that is that Aaron has just donated $5 to Ben's internet.
$5 to touch it, $10 to watch me touch it. $20 for a ZJ.
If you don't know, don't.
If you don't know, you can't afford it.
That took a turn. Holy shit. I don't even remember what I was talking about.
We were talking about Beer Fest.
Beer Fest? What? I don't remember that. In any case, yeah. So Steelers at Bengals this week. I'm curious about the crowd. When the Lions were there a couple weeks ago, it was a very heavy Detroit crowd. A lot of those Cincinnati season ticket holders thought, well, a lot of Detroiters coming down, so they sold those off. So I'm curious. And now we have Melvin donating $10 to Ben's internet. Do I hear 15? Do I hear 15? Holy shit.
You guys in the chat are the best.
Did I ever tell you guys that when Matt and I used to do this podcast years and years ago, he used to do it from his bathroom? It was the only room in his house he could get a consistent signal. So he would literally be sitting like on the edge of his bathtub. Even if he moved over to the toilet, it didn't quite work. He had to sit on the edge of the bathtub, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, is what it is. What am I forgetting? I'm sure I have something on the agenda that I'm totally forgetting about.
Melvin asked us a really good question on Slack earlier about like wide receiver 2. Do we need one? Should we trade for one? Do we miss George Pickens? So just to answer Melvin's question, because it was a really good one. I would say they definitely do not miss George Pickens in the locker room. Do they miss a player of that talent and his production? Yes, but I don't think he would have meshed very well with DK. Pickens is very happy right now because CeeDee Lamb is hurt and he's the number 1 guy in getting a lot of the targets. Like in week 2, when CeeDee Lamb was playing, Pickens was throwing his helmet on the sideline because he was pissed about lack of targets, that they were losing games, all that stuff, right? And it's a very short leash. Like, CeeDee Lamb's coming back soon, and so I think happy George Pickens in Dallas, like, is very short-lived here. Is basically until CeeDee Lamb comes back. So given how our offensive distribution has gone, like, he would not have gotten that many targets with DK Metcalf here.
Yeah.
I don't think that would have worked out. The other thing I'll say about DK, everything I've heard about him is that he's the consummate professional, right? He comes in, he watches film, he does the work. You know, even like the interviews of him in Ireland, that they're like, you can go sightseeing. He's like, no, I'm here to play football. I want to win a football game.
Yeah.
Like, I'm worried about the guy I got to match up against and what defense they're going to play on me. And you know, he lined up at fullback once this week, and he was like, man, that was weird. I like to play outside the number. Like, he is all business. And like, for as much as we've talked about like all these diva wide receivers, having a guy at wide receiver who's just all business, like, yes, he absolutely wants the ball. Yes, he's a wide receiver one, all that stuff. But like, having a guy who's just all business is so refreshing after all these other guys that I don't think they would have meshed well. And I don't think Pickens will do well as a wide receiver too. So I think the other interesting thing with Pickens, since Melvin asked about it, is, you know, he's in a contract year. So if Dallas doesn't re-sign him, like, what the market for him is going to be, considering like Dallas was the only team willing to give up like a top 100 pick for the guy. I don't know what the market is out there for him. Like, he's really talented, but he's crazy. And like, you kind of have to make him your number one wide receiver and give him the ball a lot. So, you know, it's going to be really interesting how this offseason goes for George Pickens, but I'm not super concerned about the guy because, as Ryan said many times on this show, you don't win with guys like that. But I feel like guys like DK Metcalf are guys you can win with.
You really? Absolutely. Don't you hope that Dallas gives George Pickens big money?
Well, of course.
Like, they pay him and CD. Like, let's just say they gave George Pickens $25 million a year, and they kept both of them. I would love to see that. I really hope it happens.
One of the reasons the discussion point came up was because another Steelers site, shall we say, suggested there was a rumor that the Steelers were in talks to trade Pat Freiermuth and Alex Highsmith to the Eagles for A.J. Brown.
Oh, you mean one of those clickbait sites?
Yes. And look, they have all but admitted that they know they're a clickbait site. So I'm just going to leave it at that. It's unfortunate because there's some good people there. But either way, that's where the discussion of the number 2 wide receiver came in. Again, you know. Scarps.
And there were rumors today that they were trading for Chris Olave or Jalen Waddle.
Well, and I think it's going to continue until we get through November 4th, quite frankly.
Yeah, and you're right, still Dad. And Chris Olave is one concussion away from never playing again.
No doubt.
And he's playing for the Saints, who are fucking terrible. And like, I hope the young man doesn't fucking hit in the head. But like, let's be real about that. But like, I am not surprised by what George Pickens is doing. I have never once questioned his talent or his potential.
Nope.
He's in an offense he's on a team that's offensive minded, that has no defense and has to throw to win the game, to try to win the game. And CeeDee Lamb has been hurt. Yeah. Even CeeDee Lamb's coming back, but I still think Pickens is going to be very valuable. And so I would say that in my opinion, his best move is to stay in Dallas because they got a couple picks for Micah Parsons. Maybe they can invest in the defense and go from there. But back to us, when we're talking about wide receiver 2 and whatever, I doubt they're going to make a move. I do. I doubt they're going to make a move. Matt Smith, my guy, he suggests Jacoby Myers, and
I can see it.
I'd love to.
That would be a great fit.
But I don't.
Okay,
I don't
so let's
see
just
the
say
Raiders
hypothetically.
I don't see the Raiders.
Let me ask all of you this. All of you this question.
Yes.
Let's say hypothetically they do trade for a Jacoby Myers, Jalen Waddle, Chris Olave, and they
Three
bring
very
them
different
in.
players, but okay.
Yeah,
Sure.
Three.
But they trade for one of those guys.
Yes.
They trade for one of those guys, and they bring them in, and they have to get on to the quote-unquote moving train after week 6 and learn the offense. How much are these guys really going to fucking play anyway?
Well,
how much are they going to play? Why would you want to?
Did you not see what Mike Williams did last year?
Oh yeah, dude, he was amazing.
He was amazing. Ben, I absolutely agree, and I hate that we agree so much, but.
Sorry.
No, it's a good question.
You need to.
Don't worry. You have a lot of shitty takes. I'll come at you later. It's fine.
Me? Thank you. But. Okay, to Matt Smith's point, those three are way better than Mike Williams. I don't disagree with that, but there is clearly a ramp up period in some sort of protocol or process that prevents them from getting playing time. So why didn't they play Mike Williams last year? Then he caught that pass in Washington that won him a game, and then it was
it
gone ever since.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we I think on this show didn't we basically say, okay, Mike Williams, we got him, and what does he do? He runs the go route. And what did he do? He ran the go route. He scored a TD, and that was the last we saw.
Okay, well, to Matt Smith's point, what team is Mike Williams on? Absolutely correct. But like, what team is Jacoby Myers going to be on next year? If this doesn't work out, because it didn't work out in New England, it's not working out in Vegas. Where's he going to be next year?
Well, the thing with the Raiders, though, if they lose the next two.
Jacoby Myers sucks. Matt Smith, hold on a sec. My guy, Matt Smith.
What?
Who's he saying he sucks? I think he's saying that Mike Williams sucks.
Yeah.
He does.
Okay. Jacoby Myers is a really good route runner and has pretty consistent hands. And for a number, I think one of the reasons why it's not working out as well in Vegas is because they're asking him to try and be a number 1 wide receiver, which he really isn't. But I think asking him to be a number 2 with DK Metcalf on the other side, right? DK is going to get double covered. So you're going to have some more room to operate. And when you're just asking the guy to be like, okay, be a precise route runner, pick up a couple third downs, get past the sticks for us, I think Myers can excel in that kind of role. And that's exactly what he does really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but so I would say that, okay, Matt Smith, I know where you're coming from right now, but Jacoby Myers wanted to be traded even though he was clearly the number 1 wide receiver on his own fucking team. So what does that say? And then if you're the Dolphins, why would you trade Jalen Waddle, who's going to be your number 1 wide receiver next year?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Miami in particular, it's
Matt Smith, be goddamn nice.
and Waddle's a good player, but he's another one who's just he can run some nice routes, but he might be 170 pounds soaking wet, right?
He doesn't strike me as a number 2.
No, he's a guy.
Number 2.
He's got a lot of speed. You can throw crossing routes to him. You can throw go balls to him. But that go ball that Rodgers tried to throw to DK Metcalf, Metcalf was 4 yards open, and Rodgers underthrew it really badly. So I don't.
And he knew it.
And it's the same thing with Rashid Shaheed, right? I love watching Rashid Shaheed play because he's just running go routes and they're going to air it out to him and he's got the speed to go get it and take it to the house, right? But I don't think for the kind of arm that Aaron Rodgers has right now that's the best. Well, if we still had Ben Roethlisberger, you'd be like, fuck yeah, go get Rashid Shaheed or Jalen Waddle that can run go routes. But for what we've got right now, I'd rather have a precise route runner that can get open than a guy that can just run go routes, because you've already got DK Metcalf who's going to stretch the field and pull the safeties.
So So you got Chris Olave, who's one concussion away from retiring.
Yeah.
You got Jacoby Myers, who was a wide receiver 1 in Vegas, and didn't want to be there. And then you got Jalen Waddle, who's a wide receiver 1 on a team that would be dumb to trade him away. And then you got the Steelers group of receivers after DK Metcalf, who they're trying to turn into folk heroes that are never going to be folk heroes.
Yeah.
They want Ben Skoranek to be a 100 reception guy so bad, and he's not going to get to 20.
Hey, so he got a touchdown pass this year.
As long as he blocks his ass off, that's all I care.
Yeah, as long as he does that.
But so getting back to the whole, like, are you waiting for the bottom to fall out? You go, yeah, I am, because I'm looking at these lack of weapons on offense, and you know what? Aaron Rodgers won a Super Bowl against us a long time ago.
Yep.
But Aaron Rodgers is a 500 quarterback in the postseason, and Mike Tomlin is under 500 in the postseason. And I'm just fucking waiting for this to. Yes, I'm waiting for this to shit the bed. I'm doing it.
Hater.
Fine.
I mean,
all right.
You are a fucking hater, but you're right. And here's the thing: this defense needs to stay off of the field. They need sustained drives by the offense. They need to be rested and ready to go in order to play well. They are a fast, aggressive defense, and in order to play that way, perform well, you got to stay off the field. You have to have sustained periods of rest. So if the offense shits the bed, we're kind of fucked.
TJ was wearing a shirt today when they got on the plane. It said turnover culture, and that's really what they are. They play fast. They want to get turnovers.
They are turnovers. They are turnovers and sacks and pressures. They are a pressure front.
Yeah. With that said, let's move on to our picks for this week. Now, I would just like to remind everyone.
Speaking of wet dreams,
thank you, Melvin. That last week we broke from tradition. We had gone the previous couple weeks, and all four of us had done the same thing, only to be completely wrong.
We all thought the Steelers were going to win, but
correct.
Ian and I did the honorable thing and took one for the team and picked them to lose because we've been doing it for the previous. You assholes were like, no, they're going to win.
No way. And so that brings us to this week, and I thought I'll change it up. I'll go first this week.
All right.
Since I don't normally go first. And I gotta be honest, I've gone back and forth on this quite a bit because largely the trends, the Steelers on Thursday nights, but then you throw in the success of Aaron Rodgers and all that kind of stuff. And I think this is going to be an absolute dogfight. And I think in the end, it's going to be the Pittsburgh Steelers 20 and the Cincinnati Bengals 19.
Wow.
Yeah.
I like it.
Wow.
Yeah. I think this is going to be a dogfight. It's a divisional game. I don't need to say anything more. Scarps, your choice. Your pick, rather.
To let the audience know that after I make this prediction, I have to take a leak.
Casey's got to pee.
He's a dead guy who still has to piss. Cincinnati is a desperate team.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they recognize it. Jamar Chase talked about getting raw dogged.
He did. He did.
What the fuck was that? And
that was weird, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was real weird.
That was weird.
I mean, I think he's alluding to his offensive line can't give any protection, but but with that being said, I really do think there's something here that Tomlin's annoying or being annoyed by the interdivisional trade. And I think there's a chance that the Bungles might do this. I really, really do. And you know what? I'm going to go with
Here we go.
Steelers.
Oh.
23-17.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 6 points.
All right, Ben, you're up next.
Why am I next?
Because I said so.
Dick.
Good answer.
I have a microphone.
Thank you, Adam Sandler. Fuck. I've been back and forth in this all week.
Same.
Mr. Rogers has and it's not the good Mr. Rogers. I love that guy.
No.
Although, have you seen the AI videos lately?
Yes.
Of him doing the slap fights.
Him and Eazy-E. Hilarious.
Eazy-E. That was so fucking funny. God damn it. Rodgers has a really good record on Thursday night. However, the last time the Steelers won on the road on Thursday night was 2018. 10 years.
Yeah.
The road teams in general on Thursday night perform really, really poorly.
They do.
So it's really hard for me. Like, Tomlin has terrible record on Thursday night on the road, especially in interdivisional games. He's never won one, ever. Yep. So this is really fucking tough. I mean, because the Bengals suck something fierce. That offensive line is fucking horrible. Their defense is not good. But the thing they do is they force turnovers. And this just feels like that kind of a game. I'm going to go Bungholes 20, Steelers 16.
Whoa!
Steel Dad, you and me on the fucking right side of history.
We are on the right
baby.
side, baby. What'd you say, 2017?
Yeah. 16.
16, my bad.
I said 23-16.
This was really hard to pick.
It's
really fucking hard to pick.
Yeah. Ian, what do you got?
Well, last week I picked against the Steelers.
You did.
Because a certain
previous 2 weeks
account on Twitter, which is at the Pony Express, tweeted that it was a guaranteed victory for the Steelers against the Browns. Now,
twice today.
A blind squirrel does find a nut every once in a while. So, but he did it again today, as Ben said.
Uh-huh.
And
twice, motherfucker.
Yes, let me make my pick.
Where do you stop tweeting?
Fucking lo-fi in Portland is fucking Jesus Christ, so bad. I love you, Ben. I'm just fucking with you.
All right. So, the Steelers, as we said, the Steelers are really bad on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Road teams in general are really bad on Thursday nights. Thursday night games just suck. Yep. Now, the Bengals did have to play at Green Bay at 4:30 on Sunday and then come back home, whereas we were at home at 1:00 Sunday.
Yep.
So maybe slight advantage. I don't know. Rodgers is good. Tomlin is bad. The Bengals are desperate. I can definitely see Jamar Chase breaking free for, a couple long yards after catch completions. I can see us playing cover 3, playing off the receivers, Flacco hitting some quick hitters, and Chase just tearing us up by our guys not tackling. The Thursday night games
pass interference roulette
and sloppy, and it's not good. So what I'm coming back to is, since the Steelers lost to the Seahawks, I have picked against them every week, and they have won every week. So I would love to be wrong once again. But as you all mentioned at the top of the show, I did pick the Steelers to go 8-1 this year. So I'm going to pick Steelers 23, Bengals 23 in a Thursday night dumbass tie.
Oh, shit. It was close last week to a tie, too. You're right.
It was.
To fulfill my one tie prediction. And I'm going to say that Evan McPherson, who has been a really on and off kicker, misses an extra point to send the game to overtime when he could have won it. That, like,
holy cow, the specifics by this guy.
I'm fucking making every bet you just said tomorrow night.
Shit. Go. My parlay ready, baby.
Here's the thing. I have been wrong almost every week this year. So I'm hoping to be wrong again, but I have to pick them to tie at some point.
Me too.
Now,
I'm hoping I'm wrong too, but
I had this in my head before the show that I was going to pick them to tie. Then you guys started talking about my prediction that they were going to be 8-1. I was like, shit, you're going to ruin my pick later in the show.
I'm throwing a few bucks on this. Give me the tie.
I was going to pick the Steelers to win, but I was like, if I fucking do that, I'm going to jinx these guys. I can't.
I got a single parlay with a missed extra point.
So I am once again not picking them to win, but I'm also not picking them to lose.
Whatever.
All right. You've got the selections. We are down to the bitter end. Which means Mr. Casey Kasem is in the building.
Oh, boy. Casey is coast to coast. Making up for the hello, everyone, and welcome to the week that was October 9th, 1987. Our favorite correspondent and non-ball knower Ryan was about 3 months old at this. 4 months old at this time, back in 87. And he's back with us again this week, and he writes, Dear Casey, oh no, they say he's got to go Joe Flacco. Yeah. Oh no, there goes Cincinnati. Go Joe Flacco. Casey, that's of course a parody of Blue Oyster Cult's Godzilla off their album Spectres, released in 1977. And before you say anything, yes, I know I recently did a parody of this song in a letter to you, but I don't recall when or where that was, nor the context, because we've had some drinks. Also, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to talk about a quarterback that should have been old Yellard last offseason. And I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Which one? I was just going to say.
Casey, just when you thought Joe Flacco would fade into oblivion, he popped up like morning wood after a sex dream. Casey, Joe Flacco is on pace to play for more teams than Josh Johnson, and he will soon be the answer to the bar trivia question, who is really to blame for fucking up the quarterback market contract?
Oh, yeah.
Flacco is so old, the tooth fairy didn't exist when he was born. Aaron Rodgers is so old, he was born when Pittsburgh wasn't spelled with an H. But we are in for a treat tomorrow night, Casey, when the two senior citizens square off at Skyline Chili Stadium. Wrong name, sorry. Casey, let me be clear. If either of these quarterbacks had Skyline Chili, let's just say, we'll have several nominees for the Angry Runs.
Holy shit.
Exactly.
Literally. Tomorrow night is the first matchup between two 40-plus-year-old quarterbacks since Brady Breeze in the divisional round on January 17th, 2021. There isn't enough Tiger Balm in the tri-state area that's going to help these guys come Friday. I guarantee both will be questionable at the early portions of next week with the label of General Soreness. There's also a chance both of them will be asleep by the 10-minute mark of the third quarter because it was way past their bedtime. And both will surely forget to have taken their back pills. Casey, these guys are old as shit. They definitely have a touch of gray.
No,
Ryan, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars and keep your radio tune right where it is. At number 27 this week, here's the Grateful Dead with Touch of Gray.
Really?
A Dead
hippie
reference.
song?
Wow, I did not see
hippie-
that coming.
Hippie music song. Really?
Hippie music. Yeah.
Goddamn hippies.
Outstanding. Thank you for sticking with us for 90 minutes.
That was fun.
Highly
Fun,
entertaining Steelers talk and who knows what the hell else. Make sure you check out the website, steelcityblitz.com. Don't forget Ian's coverage of Whippeal High School football as it comes down to the end of the regular season there as well.
2 weeks left.
Please make sure that you subscribe. We would love to have you as a member. We're as the membership grows, we can get out some more little perks and stuff to you. And the first perks will be coming out this week, as a matter of fact. So great having everybody tonight. Enjoy the game tomorrow night, hopefully. And as always, go Steelers.
Ravens suck.
Oh, I wish you wouldn't have said that.
Oh, no!
We've had some drinks.